Hi, my name is Evelina, and I thought I would talk to you about marketing. And I would start with from our reading and share with you a little bit about some of the things that we've read. And I was going to start with product, and that we need to start with a high quality product. So our programs need to be of a high quality. We have to assess our target audience and identify and be knowledgeable about their needs. We can do that by searching scholarly articles and journals, and we can look at surveys that have been done and look at data sets. We can do our own surveys, interviews with people that are in our target audience, and we can do that by telephone or face-to-face. The other thing we need to look at is price. Are we going to charge something for our program? We can look at the tangible, intangible prices, cost to our program, the time and energy it takes through the workshop. Is there childcare costs? Are we going to provide childcare? The transportation to and from our programs. We need to look at the place that we're going to hold the program. Access to it, security, is it the physical and emotional security in our programs? We need to look at a promotion for our programs, advertising, word of mouth, public relations. We do it through social media. And so those are just a few of the things when we're looking at our programs and marketing. One of the reflective questions this week was, have you ever tried to market a product before? And so what was the product, and what did you learn about marketing? What worked, what didn't work, and what would you change to market more effectively? And lastly, what important lessons did you learn that could be applied to marketing, family life education? And so I used to work for an outpatient mental health facility for children and families, and it was a nonprofit organization. And I worked in the billing department, and I sat in on meetings that planned groups for the therapists. And we also had another program called the Relief Nursery, and they did groups as well. And so I would help organize and plan for groups. And in those meetings, one of the first thing we would do was assess the needs of the target audience. So, what were the needs that we would provide in those groups? Who was our target audience? Was it children? Was it parents? Sorry about that. Was it moms or dads? So who was the target audience? And then what were their needs? And so those were some of the first things we would talk about. And then we would then talk about like what time of day would we offer it for? So for, parents, would it be better to do it in the evening, and then we'd have to provide childcare? Or, but for children, was it better to do it after school? Would it be better to do it during school and at the school? So location was another thing we would have to address. We'd have to address the financial part of it. So if we were going to charge, and we could bill insurances for groups at this organization. So then if we were billing insurances, what if people didn't have insurance? So then how would we address the needs of those participants? And because of the rules we had to follow, we had to bill everybody if we were billing insurances. So then what would we do about the costs in that regards? So once we addressed all the needs of our target audiences and had that all figured out, then we would how we were going to advertise for our groups, and that would mostly be done by word of mouth. We had therapists would talk to their clients, and clients that they felt would be best for the groups. They could ask them if they'd like to participate. They would talk to doctors and get referrals from doctors in our community. They also talk to other agencies in the community and get referrals that way. And those were that's where we got most of our participants from, was by using word of mouth. We also would use flyers and Facebook and our website to market our groups. We would get less participants that way. So most of our advertisement was done by word of mouth, and that was the way we got our biggest groups participants from. Occasionally, a group therapist had a great idea for a group and would present his or her idea, and we get it figured out and do it. But they hadn't really done the research about the target audience's needs, and we would only have 1 or 2 people sign up for a group, and that group would then not be able to be held because of the lack of participation. And so we discovered that it was really important that there was some really good research done before on the target audience's needs before we advertised a group and tried to do a group. Otherwise, that group would fail. And so that was an important piece that we learned and made sure we tried to have a good handle on what the target audience's needs were. And so I think that was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned, and it's definitely something that is being in our reading has been a big focus, is that how important that knowing and understanding a target audience needs are. And then the other piece I'd learned and was addressed in our reading is that in advertising, word of mouth is such a great way of getting people to your programs. And so, your networking is important, and having a good base of people that you can talk to and promote your program through is a great way for marketing. And so that is a good tool to have a good network of people to share your program with. So hopefully those ideas are helpful, and thanks for listening.